What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan, the gaming, back on another Battlefield 3 gameplay. And no, this is not going to be any tips or anything involved with that nature. This is just going to be a regular commentary. But I will be doing another so-called tips video somewhere later down the line. But yeah, what's good with y'all, man? First thing I want to say is, the Miami Heat won the championship. I'm not happy about that. I know a lot of y'all might be some LeBron fans, but me personally, I don't like LeBron. No, I don't know LeBron because people always use that as, do you know LeBron? No, I don't know LeBron, but just watching the actions that he does, leaving Cleveland the way he did and things like that, going out dancing after he wins the championship. Then I hear that he's clowning the Knicks or whatever now. Stuff like that makes me not like him. That's unprofessional the way he does stuff. And yeah, they try to use the young cat thing. He is a young cat, so stuff like that happen, man. He's a year older than me or 2 years older than me, so I don't want to hear none of that nonsense. I would never carry myself like that. So I really don't like LeBron. He's a pretty good player and everything, but I think people, make him better than what he really is. And I don't really want to hear about all the stats and everything like that, because everybody, oh, you look at the stats. Look, I don't really care about all that. Look, I just don't really like the guy. It's whatever. I still think he's a good player. It took me a while to actually like Kobe. I didn't like Kobe for a long while too, but after a while, just seeing him beast, man, I was like, man, look, I gotta give the dude respect. He's actually good. So that's whatever. But I just want to get that out of there because my man Leader the Flock, his video, I had some dudes kind of upset about me saying I didn't like LeBron James or whatever, and dudes was leaving some stupid comments, and I had to go and troll them real quick. But anyway, what's good with y'all, man? This video is me playing a rush on whatever this map is called, Mountain something. I forget the maps. I don't ever remember the map names on this game at all. But I was having a problem using my AEK. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the update, and the update changed the way the AEK works now since they buffed it. But you saw in that team deathmatch video when I was talking about them buffing it, I was slapping kids. But for some reason, my setup that I was using before wasn't working. I was just getting a lot of, like, I was shooting at somebody and I wasn't suppressed or anything, but my bullets just weren't hitting them. I was aiming dead on the chest. So I'm like, yo, what's good? So this whole game, I was going around just changing my attachments, trying to find the best fit for me. You're gonna see a few times. You're gonna see me go into customized mode and try to change it up and stuff like that. But anyway, man, let's get to the topic, the major topic of the day. So it basically starts off like this. I was watching G4 Icons SNK on my phone on YouTube. Now I don't know if a lot of you guys remember G4 Icons. It was on the G4 channel when it was actually good. When the game was actually solely about electronics and video games, before they started putting cops on there and cheaters and Arrested Development and all those shows that have nothing to do about technology. I mean, I don't know what direction that show is going on, and Ninja Warriors stuff. I don't know what direction they're going for, but they're all over the place on that channel. So I stopped watching it about 3 years ago when I saw that all the channels, all the nice shows that I enjoyed watching were going away, and then they were just showing cops and cheaters and all that nonsense for like a whole 8 hours. So this was back when that channel was great. You had Arena, which was my favorite show. You had Cheats, not cheaters, but cheats. A show that actually showed cheats for video games, which that's something else I noticed that video games today don't have a lot of cheats. But I'm gonna do a comment on that too. And then you had Icons, which was a great show. I mean, Icons basically, they took, either they took like game developers and they talked about when they first started making their game and how it became successful and stuff like that, or they talk about like arcades and things of that nature. So I was watching the SNK one, and I remember them mentioning the part about how they first started in the arcade, and like their games were glorified in the arcades. That's how they got their start. They made like Samurai Showdown, Fatal Fury, the Art of Fighting and stuff like that. And after a while, the arcades started to die out. And I sat there and remember, like, I know a lot of you younger cats don't know anything about arcades. You know, the guys that were born in the, you know, the mid '90s and stuff like that. I mean, back when I was in my adolescence, growing up in the mid '90s, you know, if you go to the mall, you're going to see an arcade. It doesn't matter what mall it was, there was always an arcade. And I remember I used to enjoy going to arcades. I remember my brother used to work there when I was around, like, I think I was 10 or 11. And my brother worked at an arcade in North Carolina, where I'm originally from. And, you know, he lived there for a little longer before he moved here. So he worked at an arcade there, and he would let me go up there while my dad was working. And I would just sit up there and just play on the arcade. I mean, it was certain games he couldn't manipulate, but it were games where he could manipulate the credits, and he'd manipulate the credits for me so I could play them. And I was just sitting in there just playing the games for free the whole time, man. I was having a ball. I mean, that was like a wonderland. Now, mind you, I had a PlayStation at that time, but, you know, the arcade always had the better graphics and the stuff like that. And then, you know, they had games that I didn't have, you know, which were on, like, the Nintendo 64, like, you know, Killer Instincts Gold and games like Die Hard Trilogy. No, that wasn't on the PlayStation. Die Hard. You remember the Die Hard arcade game, which basically was a ripoff of something Cops, Dynamite Cops, which was on the Dreamcast, which I did get that because that game was fun. But yeah, they had games like that I didn't have, so I used to enjoy playing them, whatever. So, man, I was having a ball. The other kids were wondering how I was playing so many games because, you know, I had my older brother there who worked there manipulating the machine. So I got to thinking, like, man, like, all the way till I was 14, man, we used to see arcades all the time. But then I remember after I was 14 and starting to grow up, I started seeing the arcades just start disappearing. Like, there would be less games in there until one day it was gone. And, like, that sucks. I mean, because arcades were, you know, they were like a fun experience for me. And I understand why they were going away. You know, they said that, you know, console market started, you know, doing better than the arcades. I mean, people started getting the home console and they were getting the basic versions of the arcade. I mean, the graphics were almost as good and stuff like that, so they weren't making any money. And plus, you could, instead of playing people at the arcade, you could just hop online and play people. But playing people in person is a lot better than playing online. First of all, you have that lag to deal with. You know, I play fighting games like Tekken and stuff like that. Most people that I played with online, and when they had to go play in tournaments and they play people offline, they don't even want to play the game online anymore. They, like my guy, my dude that was playing in that one video who was using Fang on Tekken 6, my man Scrubzilla, he sent the message to everybody saying, look, if I get on Tekken, don't send me any invites for online, because since I played offline in tournaments, it just doesn't feel as good playing online with all the lag and issues like that. So when he gets on, he's usually playing versus mode with a homeboy at his house. So that's how it is. Like, it was always, you know, funner to play against somebody right next to you, and then like a crowd would gather around you watching you play, man, and then the next person would want to hop on and try to beat you. And it was just, I don't know, it was just a great experience, man. Then you get that high score on a certain game, and you put your name on a high score ranking, and it still scrolls up a week later and shows you at the #1 spot. I mean, those were great experiences. Now, they do have online ranking on the consoles and stuff like that, but, you know, people can manipulate stuff and do exploits to beat your score, and that's not cool. You can't really do exploits on the arcade because people will call you out for it. So that's why, you know, the arcade experience to me is a lot better than, you know, the console experience. So I was thinking, what can we do to bring arcades back, man? A lot of guys that are around my age, you know, 26 and older, if you remember back in the 90s, the term for video games used the most was virtual reality. You don't hear that term now, but back in the day in the 90s, man, virtual reality was a term used all the time. I remember Nintendo even attempted to make a virtual reality type system, which was the Virtual Boy, which failed horribly. First of all you saw was red and black, and it would just cause more headaches than anything, and most games didn't even use the 3D aspect of it. So I was thinking maybe arcades should use the virtual reality route. I did do a little research, and I'm gonna put videos in the description of people that showed headsets, stuff like that, eyewear for virtual reality, and there was also one that had a sphere that you get inside of that gives you like the ultimate sense of virtual reality. Makes you feel like you're immersed in a game. That's what virtual reality is, basically. It's kind of like, you know, the connector's kind of similar to it, but instead of looking at your TV, you have like either some eyewear on or you're inside of a platform that immerses you into the game. So when you look to your left, you're actually looking to the left on the game and stuff like that. And it looks like you're actually in the game. So I believe that arcades could do this because, I mean, arcades always have better graphics and they will always have better graphics. I mean, it's basically a huge computer. So they will have better graphics. And imagine playing Battlefield 3 or Modern Warfare 3 in a virtual reality booth. You know, like the laser tag booths, they could just remove laser tag and have virtual reality booths. And I mean, it'll be amazing. No lag or anything like that. And just wonderful graphics, and it looks super real because you're immersed in the game. That's a great idea, I believe. And that would bring the arcade market back to the top because I would pay for it. I think the price tag should start around like $5 or $10 to play one game. And I think that'll be a reasonable price for it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, man. Leave a comment down there and let me know what you think about that idea. I think it's a good one. I just want to see arcades back because I had fun. And you know, they could put the fighters and the regular arcade type games in there too. But this video's winding down. Rate the video, subscribe. Please leave a comment, like I said, about what you think. But this is your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, and I just want to see the arcades come back. But I'm about to be gone. Bye!